Hi, welcome back to PLA Backstage Pass. Today I have with me Jessica, who's our marketing manager, and David, who is our audio and visual director. And I'm going to take you sort of like behind the scenes, truly behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Where most people don't really know what we do PLA marketing. I think a lot of people know like what we do at show or we show a lot of our warehouse team and sometimes we show a bunch of cubicles up here, but truly what goes behind the scenes on building a brand. And I think most of that goes with marketing. I mean, all of that has to do with marketing. That's what you guys do, like brand building. And it's been 7 years of a lot of like up and down and learning and all the things.
Pure chaos.
Control chaos. Control chaos. But I want to talk to the people that make the magic happen and ask all of the questions to kind of peel back the curtain and show people what it's really like working at marketing at PLA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides some tears and some chaos. A little bit of tears.
I never cry.
You
David never cries either.
I've never cried here.
Everybody cries all the time here.
I've never gone to see Corinne. Never seen to go to see HR. So I think that's pretty good.
That is
or
really
depending, that could be bad. I don't know.
I cried one time at an interview. David filmed an interview of you, and then you started crying, and then I started tearing up.
She turned away really fast.
And I'm not a crier.
You're like, I got this. That's why we picked you for the podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
All the crier, we put them in the closet.
There's a stone wall, no emotion here. So yeah, that's just me.
You both have been in a company for a while. Jess, you've been here for 4 years? 4 years. And David, you've been here for like 3.
Almost like 3 in September.
3 in September.
Yeah.
And Jessica started here, a little bit background. Jessica actually started as customer service.
3 days a week or something like that.
Like very part-time customer service. And I remember when I interviewed you with Caitlin and you came in, I don't know if you remember this.
No, I was interviewing with Katie on FaceTime, remember?
Yeah, but you came into the office the first time.
Yeah.
And then I asked her, I'm like, oh, what makes you want to work here? And she was just like, I was at home and I'm bored. And I'm like, okay. And then you do customer service and very sort of quickly you got out of that role. Talk to me a little bit about like your kind of all of the step and the position that you've been in at PLA.
She's not bored anymore.
She's not bored anymore. Oh, no. Every day I come with Jessica, I'm like, so, and she's like, I'm so scared right now.
I started coming 2 or 3 days a week in customer service. And that was fun. And then you asked me after, I think, a month, you were like, I need somebody full time. Can you go full time? So I said yes. Then I became a lead probably 6 months later. And then maybe 6 months after that, I moved on to the marketing team. It's been a lot since then. What have I done? I've been a campaign manager. So I did all the sales at one point.
So if you ever shop a sale, you have Jessica to thank for.
You're welcome, because it's a lot. I would do everything for the sale. And then I became the social media strategist, which also gave me a team. So that's been pretty cool. And now I'm the marketing manager. So it's like
a boss now.
It's full circle.
You're
now I do all the sales again because.
Yeah, but you do more than sales, right? Like you do launch, you do social media, you do email, everything, and marketing team kind of all be touched by you before it goes out.
Yes, there's so many little things I think that people don't realize are marketing.
Which I'm hoping to talk about it a little bit, because a lot of lash artists, look into like opening a brand or opening the salons, and whether you run a business or you up one person, up 10 lash artists, a salon or a brand, all of these pieces most people don't think of. And doing it from a very small scale to brand kind of scaled up to what we are doing right now. There's a lot of things that we learn along the way, which I'm hoping that we can talk about.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
Talk to me about like the time that you've been here. You've been here almost 3 years. Yeah. And I also remember when I did not interview you.
You hopped in for the second one.
Yeah. But the first time I remember we interviewed like a few people, then you were given an assignment, like a work piece to like do a piece on, kind of, commercial on or a video on, so then we can see if we like your style. And I remember Caitlin came to me and Caitlin's like, okay, I like him like a lot. But if you watch the video, just keep in mind he's not a lash artist. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I watched video, and it's like the cutest
It
video.
was really cool,
And I
actually.
could really.
I still have it. We can insert it here.
Oh, see?
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
I
let's
still have
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
Because I think, I mean, when I watched the video, though David was holding the tweezers and he was holding it the wrong directions, or he was
He
like,
picked up the lash
yes,
like this.
in the wrong direction.
Okay, yeah, but like you guys sent me all these products.
I know.
Okay, so they sent me all of these products. Okay, and I didn't know what they had sent me all these adhesives and stuff like that. And then they didn't tell me anything about them. And then like I get here 2 weeks later and they're like, be careful with the adhesives because they can start a fire. They can start smoking. And I was putting that stuff on cloth all over the place and everything, and I didn't know. So I could have burned my place down, I guess.
No. It doesn't burn. I mean, it may have, like, if you pour a glop on, it may have, a tiny bit smoke, but it doesn't burn down.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's
know.
very exaggerated. But I remember watching the video and I was just like, I could tell he put so much thought and you looked it up and you research it and you put your creative thought into it, and though it's not, technically, like the technicality of it wasn't correct, but also you didn't know, but it was awesome. And then we look at like a few videos of people that we interview, and me and Caitlin's like, we think him. Yeah, we think him. And we move, and you moved to Reno-ish for the job.
Yeah,
Kind
well,
of.
I was born and raised in Reno, and then I left for a while around COVID, got a job down in Vacaville, California, and then I was wanting to come back up. So there's not a lot of production jobs in Reno area, so I was looking for a while, and then that popped up, and I was like, it was actually funny because I didn't know. I was just blasting out applications places, as one does when they don't have a job, and then I get an email from Paris Lash Academy. I'm like, what the hell is Paris Lash Academy? I don't understand. It doesn't sound like something I would apply for. Okay, but okay. And then like I started talking to Caitlin. I was like, actually, this sounds kind of cool. It sounds like I get to do like a lot of product things and a lot of fun shoots, go travel, which I've gotten to do, which is, So it's just like, it was very funny though. I was just like, I don't know what this is.
After you guys picked him, I remember Caitlin was like, okay, everybody come in here. And the marketing team, she's like, look at this. This is so cool. And we all watched David's video.
I think they showed a video to like a bunch of people at
Did
work.
they?
Yes,
Oh.
yeah. No, because I definitely watched it more than a few times, and I'm like,
Right.
I think him. And then, and I still remember, I was just like, oh, I would have to tell him to like hold a tweezer this way and that way. And she's like, I know you're gonna say that, but keep in mind he's not a lash artist, and we'll tell him all of those. But then, like,
And I still don't know.
no, you do know though. That's not fair. You do know. I feel like after you started, and I was very hands-on at that time, I remember.
Yeah.
Like Lana was still lashing, and then I was still in every photo shoot or like video shoot and whatnot. And after a very short while, David and I start getting on sync of like, David would be like, she wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
Or David would look at a video and David would be like, oh, this is what she would want it to film like. And I was so proud because I feel like we got our team at that time, Megan and you, to a point where you both look at it and you'd be like, yeah, don't give that to her. She wouldn't like that one. Or, she would love this angle instead. And now that I don't work like hands-on productions anymore, sometimes I miss that, where I was just like, but they know what I like.
Don't worry, we still do it.
You
just
still
don't
We still
know.
do it, yeah.
still-
You're
Yeah,
always
we're like-
welcome.
But yeah, we're always like, one person might like this, but Michelle's not gonna like it, so we're not gonna do it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, I love working in a studio with you because I feel like you pick up a lot of things. And though you've never done like beauty before, you have good eye, and I specifically love all the video, like launch video are always awesome, but you have a gift. You tell stories exceptionally well.
Thank you.
Like anytime I watch a video, I was just like, oh, like that's so
Like
nice.
the music.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's where I always like come down, like especially like videos, like there has to have a heart in it,
Yes.
you know. Otherwise, it's kind of like it's just some cool images, and that's cool, but I don't think it really endears anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And
make you want to do anything.
and if it does, I feel like when you tell the story well, it resonate with people,
Mhm.
and then that's how you build a connection with your audience
Right.
that you watch, right? Like
Mhm.
I've seen, you know, beauty brands in general does really, really cool video. I'm like, wow, that's a production. But at the end of it, like, did I really remember anything? Because like very beautiful videos sometimes doesn't resonate with people or connect with people the way that I think
Yeah.
your videos do.
Well, yeah, and well, that's the thing that I always say too is like you're gonna find like a small brand creator who just has like, you know, their own brand or just makes their own content or whatever, and they're gonna make stuff that's just gonna blow up by themselves. Then you could have like a bigger company who's like, you know, just like you're just like that felt kind of heartless, you know.
Yeah.
And like I think trying to find that middle ground when you like start growing to, you know, find that position where you can still have that,
Yeah.
you know, in that's where the
Mhm.
heart is. So
Yeah. I think that has less to do with budget
mhm.
and what they do and has more to do with talent.
Yeah.
Than you know, because I've seen productions where I'm like, well, I know they probably spent $100,000 at it,
Yeah.
and the video was flawless, but once you looked at it, and you're like, okay, it's like
So
it's fine.
caring. I think like you have a marketing team that still actually cares
Oh,
about
yeah.
the vision, you know,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you still, it's not just about money, it's about like everything. So
Always just kidding. Just kidding. No, I think PLA has such a cool origin story.
Mhm.
And most people that work here are families or friends or, you know, or and yes, we are somewhat corporate, but at the heart of it, we built on the team that we have who
Mhm.
all somewhat best friend with each other and have book clubs and, you know, make sourdough, you know,
And we all
bread
started
together.
like same level, and now we're
Mhm.
just,
Yeah.
that's why it's cool, because
All grown up.
yeah, we're all grown up now.
Yeah,
we still ask for grown-ups though.
sometimes
something
we
goes
ask
wrong.
for
Yeah.
grown-up.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I'm
we
a
ask for
grown up
grown-up.
now.
Huh? Jessica's a grown up now.
And I'm
Sometimes
like,
I come and ask her for things.
Okay, I guess I have to make a decision.
That's the one lessons I feel like at PLA a lot of us have to learn to do, where we'll go like, oh, I guess we making the decision. You know, how much are we selling this for? Like today, Jessica's like, how much are we selling this for? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me look, you know? And that's what I don't love, but love about PLA, where I'm like, really? I'm gonna set the price for this?
Yeah.
Like you guys trust me to set the price for this? And then sometime I go to Jeff, I'm like, Jeff, please just be the adult and tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Especially on numbers, number wise. Yeah.
I feel like Caitlin, she was like a decision maker, and she just like knew. And sometimes I'll ask Jeff, and Jeff will be like, I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah.
And he's like, you're the marketing person. And I'm like, I am the marketing person. I have to figure that out. And
And then we go ask Caitlin because she's
Okay.
still downstairs.
Do we go ask
I say, oh, I'll be right back. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, but I've seen our team grown so much since, like, you know, I look back at when you first started,
Mhm.
and then you said in like the tiny little corner of customer service to
Mhm.
now you have your own office with your own window now. Like,
I have a window.
I know you have window. You're not in a dungeon anymore, and you have a big team. And then I see Matea and I see David, you know, going from kind of go in and filmed little Instagram videos, and now he does like big launch productions and photo shoots.
And we have a podcast.
I know, and he's going to film the photo shoot of I can say it. By the time this comes out, it's probably already happened. He's going to film Tat and PLA Nails applications for Haley Page photo shoot.
It's
And I'd like to point
It's
out,
like a
I don't
runway.
know who that is yet, but
Oh my-
I will.
Is it a runway
Have
show?
you- no, Haley Page is like, what's wrong with you guys? Do you guys know who Haley Page is?
I've
You ever
Never-
watch Say Yes to the Dress? You don't. Have you ever watched Say
I've
Yes
heard
to
of
the
it.
Dress?
Yes, I've seen it before.
So-
she's a wedding dress designer,
She's
right?
a wedding dress designer, and she's so massively huge. Like, obviously, she came out like after I got married. If I would get married, I would want to be in a Haley Page wedding dress. She's so incredibly talented. And she's probably one of the top name, not probably, she is one of the top name in wedding dress designer. Like she was one of top seller in Kleinfeld, wedding dress shopping in New York.
We're going to be on her models that are also wearing her dresses.
Yes.
So is it a runway show or
it's a runway? It's a fashion shoot. It's a runway show, and then it's her catalog for all of her new release that she's doing.
How many models are there?
It's 8 models that's gonna do a runway shoot, and you're gonna see like
who's gonna do their nails?
Pieces. We're gonna have 2 people flying to do their nails, and then David's gonna be there and film it all. Which I mean, comes back to like where we started to like
we're gonna be on the runway also. PLA. We were there all there when PLA Nails launched. Remember, we were throwing confetti at you. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. I remember because there was the launch thing. You guys threw confetti, and Caitlin was just like, "Just watch," because like some of the
what did we launch?
Nails.
Like the day that was my first day. It was like my first day. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
And it was Gino's first day too, and we made him vacuum.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was standing on top of a stool.
Yeah, you were.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I'm too short and I couldn't see. And obviously, we didn't have David. Ever since David started, they never make me stand on top of the stool.
Because he knows how.
Because he knows how to set camera. But then they would just like stand on this. So then there's like a behind the scene video of me standing on top of like a black little chair throwing confetti. It was obnoxious before David joined us. Like we were very DIY filming anything, you know? So yeah, no. Now thinking back, like I just can't believe how far we gone.
We used to have this wobbly tripod. Do you remember that? And Michelle would be like, why doesn't anyone buy a new tripod? And I'm like,
don't know how.
I don't know
what tripod? What are you talking about? But yeah, no, it has been a while. But going back to the beginning, what was, now PLA is sort of what we together shape it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But when you first came to PLA, what was your first impressions of PLA?
I don't know. It was just fun. I remember there was like 10 of us in that little warehouse.
Running crazy.
We would eat lunch all the time to get, like, I don't know. You would buy us food all the time and drinks all the time, which you still kind of do.
Were you there when we actually brought food for employees?
No, that was right.
You missed out. I think the first year we probably have about 8, 9 employees, and like 3, 4 of them were our family. So then either my mom or we have a lady that like helps kind of cooking food, and then she'll just bring it to the warehouse.
Pack orders.
She would, yes, and then she would pack order also. So she would pack everyone a to-go box, like a box of your own bento box of food. And then when we got to I think like 9, 10 people, she's like, I can't. And I'm like, that's okay. We're not expecting you to cook food for all of us every day. But Abby, Colton, Katie, Caitlin, Kevin, that she would count how many people work at the warehouse, and she would cook that many boxes of food.
They would probably be so sad. They were probably so sad when they had to start bringing
I was so sad. But yeah.
But that's like, and then you would buy food once a week because you couldn't feed them every day.
Yes.
And now there's so many of us, but we still get Fun Friday. So that's cool. Yeah. I don't know. I remember your desk was in the middle of the warehouse. That's
next to the trash can.
I always tell everybody, Michelle's desk used to be in the middle of the warehouse. So if something went wrong, Michelle's right there. Customer service was right behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, does anyone know a CEO whose desk is just sitting in the middle of a warehouse?
No, I think that's how a lot of startups are, because that's where you are. Like you have this many space, and it doesn't feel like the CEO. Like I just feel like this is a company. We work together, because I would be the boss of 5 people, and then 2 of them were my parents. So it didn't really count, So you kind of just have a desk there, and you do all the inventories, and you do order, and I would help with customer service or whatever else there is. Sometimes I miss that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I miss
what was
that.
what was like the hardest challenge back then?
Oh, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part. I fell so hard on my face so many times the first 3 years of running PLA, because I didn't know accounting. I didn't know inventory.
Nobody knows accounting.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I didn't know inventory. We didn't have barcode. I was manually checking everything. It was a shit show.
The manufacturer would just send whatever they would make. Remember?
Yes.
We would have like some of these trays coming out of our ears, and we would need like, and then there were things that we just needed and they wouldn't send them.
Yes.
Do you know what like
we had no systems.
do you have like, can you remember what your like worst like customer complaint was back then?
Worst customer complaint?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This one is my absolute favorite. And
Yeah.
Matea's in the room and she could relate. Your box of ProMate fan, the loose ProMate fan, because we only had loose ProMate fan there. There's no way that there's 500 fans in them. So I would be like, I promise there is. And then they'll be like, no, it's just not 500. And I would be like counting the
hand
box.
count them?
Oh, yes. And
Oh my
Matea was counting them on the floor because there was no place to sit. So she would like sit in this little store and she's like counting them. And I'll be, if we count 50 boxes and majority of them are, over 500, then we know that like, this is weird. That was before we figuring out to like a scale system to weight them.
Right.
And now we don't even weight them anymore because there's a line system that we do at the manufacturers, but we didn't know then. So for me and Matea, we're just like counting one lash at a time, and we'd be like, no, we promise it is. And then if we had to resend them a box, Matea would have to pre-count them ahead of time, 500 lashes. And if you breathe, and then if there's anything, it was a time.
I do remember
wonderful.
the customer service response. We would say, hey, in transit, they just get clumped together. So it looks like a ball. So it doesn't look like 500, but I promise it's 500.
That was my thing. Is like they all just stick together. It sounds like a nightmare to try to count those out.
Yeah. No, I remember, and I was just like, poor Matea. And I said, Matea, just like, please help me with this. Just like, don't quit. Just help me with this. And all of the things that we have now that is a system is amazing. But back then, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. And I feel like by the grace of God and the team that we have, where we all sort of chip together and kind of figure out a system to like make it work. And I would have to say our company didn't really have like system until much later. I would say we
Last
didn't really
year.
like 3 years ago was when we start having Ship Hero, which is a big upgrade for our ship system where everything is barcoded. And then we don't really have any SOP in place until like 2 years ago when Jeff started being here. And then Caitlin had SOP, but her SOP was all, this is like a spreadsheet and this is like, it works for her, but it was harder to get everyone to be on the same page until, and even now, like we're talking about a new system where we have everything in one place instead of like 500 spreadsheets. So it's keep evolving, but yeah.
Yeah, even now I'm like, Caitlin, how do you do this? And she's like, it's in my head. I'm like, great.
A lot of things, because she's so smart and she know how to do most things. So
and she can do it in 5 minutes.
Exactly. But I want her to teach all of us to do it in 5 minutes, right? Because, I don't know how, like this morning I come to you and I say, my assistant is out and like a lot of people that I usually ask for this is out. Can you please make me a calendar invite? Because I don't know how to make one. But I will learn how to make one.
It's so easy.
So
that's why I was like,
watch you do it in
sure.
1 second. David, what about you? When you first started at PLA and start working with all the beauty products, what do you think?
It was very difficult. Like seriously, like anybody who makes content, especially for lashes, like I commend you. It's extremely hard. It's like really, really hard. And I remember there's a videographer in town who I know who owns a production company, and he's done some lash sets before. And he's like, so what are you doing now? I was like, oh, I'm working for PLA and I'm doing like lash sets. He's like, oh, I did a couple of those. Like the hardest thing I've ever done. I was just like, okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
It has to look good. It has to be in frame. It has to not be blurry.
Yeah.
It can't be this. It can't be that.
It's all those. And then there's like, because like usually there's like one technical side to stuff like this where it's like just the cameras and things like that. But on this, there's 2 technical sides where it's just like, oh, that fan doesn't look right. Or like, or whatever, right? So
David, the amount of times that I'm like, I don't like that fan.
Yeah.
I think David's probably gonna stop. Like
We're gonna get you a t-shirt.
I went home and I told Fang, I said, I think one of these days he's gonna like throw tweezers at me.
He's gonna quit because of a freaking fan.
Because I'm like, I don't like this because of this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And then the amount of time I remember I'm like making a fan or doing something, and then David's just like, right here with his like big, giant, heavy camera. And I could tell he's not breathing. He's like holding his breath.
Yeah.
Because if it shakes at all, oh man, it's a good time.
It's tough. Well, and that's the other thing is like a lot of times, you have a phone, it's really small, it'll focus on whatever really fast and easily. There's some downsides to that too. But like then you have like a huge camera that you're trying to use that's so different and trying to focus on something that's small.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
And it's hard to focus on the lashes and not the eyeball.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I first got here, like I think it was the first week, I did my first set with Megan, I think, and some of the equipment hadn't got here yet. So I literally held a camera, handheld a camera over the doing the lashes, right? And then there was just like I had to do that for like 2 hours. I think I was like my back was completely
and the camera's so heavy
because like just the stuff hadn't gotten here yet. So I was just like,
no
that was
tripod.
my first time. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have.
No, but I didn't realize. So before I really worked with David, I didn't realize, and this is stupid on my part, I was just like, it's just filming. Like, how hard could it be?
Really quick. You always say that. Remember at the beginning? We'll just film that real quick. And we're like...
And I was like, I'm going to need like a week for that.
But that's what I think most people don't understand about production behind the scenes and all of this stuff, right? Like I did tell as a lash artist, I could do 6 clients in a day, no problem. Any of the portfolio sets that we've done here have never taken less than 5 hours, right? Especially if you're gonna film making fans with this, whatnot. And I know even me or Lana, sometimes I'll be like, okay, let's film for an hour of technicality of how to make a fan, how to apply. And then after about an hour, I'm like, shh, everybody go, leave, just leave. Do not be around here. Let me focus and do the set and then come back and do the after shot. So a lot of lash artists, I think, look at, brands that put on a big productions and see pictures and go like, but my pictures don't look like that, though my lashes looks pretty. And I tell them all the time, I said, it's all a production line. I know all big companies takes a really long time to do them. So if you're watching this and you are going like, hey, why does my lash set doesn't look like that? A lot of that has to do with lighting, a professional videographer, photographer, and, script, shots, pictures.
Sometimes we have makeup artists come in.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Makeup artist, hair artist, blurring out skins. I mean, everything on top of each other. And, the amount of pictures, we may post 3 pictures that David
200,
we probably took 1,000,
Yeah.
Oh, and sometimes we filmed like 20, 30 hour of footage. And then we will, David would sit through 20, 30 hour of footage. And then we would get, maybe 5 45-second videos for it, like very, very specific for it. And it's a whole entire teamed production.
Yeah. I think that's why it's always important that we show BTS on stories so that they know, like, yeah, our stuff looks good. We have lights and cameras and there's 30 people in here trying to make sure that everything's right. So, like, if you can't do it at home, it's okay because it can't be perfect.
Right.
From a marketing perspective, though, now that you work with a lash brand and you make, content and sales and things for nails, for lash, for wax, you make sales, you do launches, you do email, you do contents, sometimes you help organizing, event classes, things like that. What part do you enjoy the most?
That is a good question. I don't know.
What do you hate the most?
What do I hate the most?
Michelle randomly walk into her room and say, can we have a flash sale?
No, actually, she doesn't do that much anymore.
Yes, because I got yelled at so many times.
But you know what? You're right. It's more like I have had the sale planned for 3 months. And then the day before the sale, she's like, but look how much stuff we have to get rid of. Like, let's get rid of all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, sure, we could do that.
Yeah.
So Jess doesn't yell at me as aggressive as Caitlin. I think that's why. Like if I come up to Caitlin and I tell her, she'll be like, but the team has, she always does it for me. But she's like, do you understand how much work have been put into this before you change it last minute? So change it ahead of time. I think that's why I don't do it as often anymore. Because to me, I'll be like, just change it real quick.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, I think one day she sat me down. She's like, nothing was ever real quick. I'm just going to walk you through everything we have to change. And I'm like, okay, no, that's okay. Okay, we don't have to change it. And so, but
It's
now
kind of easy for me.
Huh?
The good thing is I don't do the prices. That's probably the part that takes a long time. You tell me what you want the price to be, and then I just add like a little picture on the email. So I shouldn't have said that, but
Yeah.
easy
No,
peasy.
but last minute changes, I think is super stressful on the team too, because we do graphic and everything else. Yeah. What about you, David? What do you hate the most?
Nothing.
Don't do it. Don't
Is this a trap?
It's not
Is this
a
a trap?
trap.
It
I
is.
can tell you like 5 things that I hate, like absolutely hate at my job.
Yeah, I would say like last minute things, just from a video standpoint, that can take a while, especially if it's like a graphic or something that I'm animating or something like that. But I don't know. Let me think about that.
I know what you hate the most. When we say, oh, can you just change the song?
Changing the song. Okay, so Jacob, who works with me over here, is shaking his head because he knows change the song means change the entire video. I don't know if you know that means change the entire video.
How?
Because
I need you to know.
all right,
David.
no, this is good. This is going to be productive for you. Okay, cool. So,
Oh shoot.
Tara's over there too.
Let's talk about it.
yeah, no, that's good. So when you change the song, so usually like you edit with a song in mind. So a lot of the cuts are like to the vibe of the song, sometimes to the beat of the song even.
So I
sometimes
wouldn't
vibe.
have to.
So you change the song and all of a sudden like, okay, this no longer works. Like the edit is completely different. And then you have to extend clips or shorten certain clips. So like a lot of times you'll be like, can we change the song? And then it'll be like, I'll actually give you like a completely different video timing wise. It'll be all the same clips, but like I have to go in and change every clip just a little bit, nudge it around completely, kind of re-edit the video.
So we need to pick songs first.
Well, yeah, usually, well, it's no, but yes.
Okay.
Like if you have a song or a vibe in mind, it's like good to put it in there. Like
Okay.
sometimes you don't know, like that's the weird thing about video. Cause like that's the other hand with me. I'm just like, I want the video to be the best it can be. So like if the song needs to change, and we can change it and we'll make it work. Right. But like having those things up front cuts down on everything, you know?
Who picks songs?
I do.
David does.
Oh. Who approves songs?
I do.
But then who usually say, can you change the song?
It'd be you or Jess or Tress are the ones that
I
usually
don't
have
feel
opinions
like
on
I
that. But
say,
Jess has
"Can you
never
change
asked me to
the
change a song.
song?"
I don't know if you have.
I don't think I've ever
Maybe
said, can
once.
you change the
Maybe
song?
maybe once.
Maybe.
I don't
One
know.
time in 3 years, I'd take that.
Yeah.
Does that mean Tress say, can you change the song?
I've had to do it. I'm not going to put any blame on
I'm
anyone.
just kidding. She's
There was one time though
I know
that
Caitlin's
she had a
asked me to
suggestion
before.
to change the song. Remember when we were like, what is wrong with this video? I don't know. And then she's like, let's make it more uplifting.
Yeah,
and
no.
then the video was like,
Sometimes that's the right call. You know what I mean? So that's the thing is like, because like as video editors and anybody who makes content knows, like you start looking at something long enough and you no longer see it. It's like an
I
empty
see that.
void that is just like somebody else needs to look at this before like, and that's how you know.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
see
how
that.
it is. So
I see that.
like I've turned in things where people have been like, oh, that's really good. And I'm like, really?
You
I was like, I had no confidence in that whatsoever. And I actually still think it's bad. And I think it's really bad actually.
Yeah.
And then there's other times where I'm just like, this is the worst video I've ever turned in and you guys have cried. And I'm just like, okay, cool.
So in a perfect world,
Yeah.
right? And you know, this will turn into a therapy session real quick. So, and last year I just left therapy session because we put our headphones on and you know we listen to everything. In a perfect world, if you say you stay at PLA for 5 years, what do you want to do in 5 years? If you're gonna still be at PLA, where do you see yourself? The word is there's no limit. What do you want to do when you grow up?
I don't know. Things are moving really quickly. I think that's the other thing. I think if you asked me a year ago, I don't even think I thought I would be the marketing manager. And here I am. So maybe I should just shoot for the stars.
Shoot for the start. What do you think you
CEO.
want to do?
No, I don't.
Can't have that.
And I don't want that.
Okay.
I always say, I don't think I'll ever be rich because I couldn't be like, you work so much. I say that all the time. I'm like, I don't have the ambition. I don't think that Michelle does. She
You
stays
are
up
ambitious.
so late. Yes, but not that.
I couldn't
I
do
don't
it
want to
either.
own a company and work till 2 a.m. and then wake up at 6:30 and then have to text my marketing manager and say, hey, what is going on? Message customer service. You are, I think, probably way more invested than any other CEOs probably are.
I don't know if that's true. I think most people are very invested in their company until they get really comfortable and they have a team, and then they don't run as much like day to day anymore. And I think that's very normal because now they have a team, they don't have to do it. I feel like I got very lucky that once I sort of hit that point, I found product development that I love.
Yeah.
So then now I do like way less of everything else, where marketing, I don't know what video goes up tomorrow because you and Trust take care of that, right? And then, where I used to like look at every video that goes up and from that David would send me and I'd be like, oh, that's great. Or like, oh, like, can we tweak this and that? Now our team is so dial in that like you guys know what I like and there's a system in place. So I usually see it the same time as everybody else see it when it goes up on Instagram. And I'm like, dang, that was good.
Or bad. I think that's why, because sometimes I'm like,
she hates it. No, I don't think I've seen one where I was just like, dude, like take this down. We used to do that all the time. We used to do that all the time back in the day where I was just like, what is happening? Take that down. But
it's the one video you didn't see. And we're like, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
I think you see things and you have like notes. You're like, for next time, let's try to do this or whatever. But it's never gotten to the point where it's like, take it down.
I think you have your moments.
What does that mean?
One time Michelle told Miss Haya,
okay,
I hate when I go on our Instagram and I see that circle around our profile picture.
The circle? You mean the logo?
The stories, how on stories.
You mean like the native Instagram thing?
Yes. Mateo was like,
I know, it's just
and
like,
Mateo's scared of Michelle, so she's like, there's nothing.
Like, let me just get Zuckerberg on the phone real quick.
And she's like, okay, I know there's nothing you can do about it, but I just want to say, I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like, it's so ugly. What do we do?
We don't post stories anymore, and then we get in trouble
again
for not posting stories.
You're like, why aren't stories going up?
But also that show you how little I know about like marketing, social media. Sometimes I look at it and I said, I hate this. And Caitlin's like, can't change it. That's how it is. And I'm like, well, there you go.
Just the way the world works.
Just the way the world works. But yeah, no, I think I got really lucky because I was getting to the point where I'm like, okay, marketing is, know what they're doing. Warehouse, I'm very hands-off with it. Customer service, I'm quite hands-off with it. Like I helped, but I don't run it. And I gotten to the point where I could see some of my CEO friends like been there where they're like, I don't really want to run this company anymore.
I know, that's my fear.
And then I found product development. And then I was just like, dang, there's all these things that I could do. And I love it so much. And I think that's what keep me, just working on our business and it keep me interested and, and keep going versus I think if I run the company how I'm sort of been running it for the past like 7 years without finding product development, I think I would eventually think about selling the company and make an exit because it was no longer fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
I was no longer a lash artist. At the beginning age of PLA, I was a lash artist who really loved lashing. And I got into education, then I really loved education. And when I stopped teaching and stopped doing lashes, it was I lost that spark.
You were just bored.
Yeah, I was bored. And there was nothing that I could do that our team couldn't do. That was when I was like, okay, if I take 2 months and go to Vietnam and work at the manufacturer, like nobody would miss me. Let's be real. If I don't work at PLA now, physically go to the building for 3 months, nothing would change. Nothing would change.
I can see that.
Nothing would change.
Okay, I'm scared. I might. I think you get anxious when you're not here.
I am.
So like you're on Slack, you're noticing all these little things, and sometimes a lot of us are like, Michelle's out of town again. She's like 30 times.
No, so you being nice by saying that, Caitlin would be like, you're a psychopath. That's what she'll text
She has
me.
said that to me before, I think,
she's like, what are you doing? You're a psychopath. And I was just like, I just see this because I'm at airport.
Yeah,
or,
you're
I'm
sitting there.
sitting on the plane.
Mhm.
That normally, like, I don't look. So then, when I'm like having time, I'm really doing an audit of our website,
What's
our
everyone
social
doing?
media,
Yeah.
like what's happening, what am I
Because
missing?
you finally have the time to kind of sit back and
exactly.
take a look.
Yeah.
Actually, last couple times you've left, it's been great. You say, hey, checking in, or you'll say, hey, and then I'll say, Mattea Michelle messaged me. What is it going to be? And then she's like, just checking in. And I'm like, we're having a good week.
Yeah, no, I'm just checking in. I'm not, because I think we gotten our team to that point where I'm like, I trust you guys to, to hold everything together where, this is one of the reasons I used to be so anxious when I travel is I'm so scared if you text me SOS and then I don't see the phone because I put my phone down to like be in a meeting or whatever it is. And then it like turned out to be a real SOS. I can't remember the last time we have an SOS text.
That was real SOS.
That it was like a real SOS.
Have we ever had a real SOS?
I blame it on Caitlin.
Yeah.
She texts SOS like so often that I think I remember she said like in her text, you see how when you text like the first emoji that you use the most of, it was like pink heart and SOS. Like that was that. And I can't really remember there was anything that was real SOS. And then now I know like if there's a true SOS, that's Jeff, that's you, that's trust, like there's people to like really take care of SOS, right? Versus Lana starts saying this. I used to go to every trade show as the setup team of trade show. Like I would go on IBS, the first disaster booth that we have at IBS. God. I was there since the beginning to the end. And now I don't go to trade show anymore for the setup team and the teardown team because Lana literally told me, what are you going to do for me? She's like, you useless there. What are you going to do for me? And I said, I could help carry boxes. And she's like, use the time to carry boxes and actually do something that would help our company. And I'm like, like I want to help. Or she gets really irritated if I like help do things that she say, our team, we got it. You don't need to come. We got it. And if you come here, you're too opinionated. So we don't want you here. That's pretty much what they're saying. So yeah, no, I'm really, really proud. I know that there has been a lot of up and down. But I actually just came from the podcast from a meeting with Jeff and Corinne, and Jeff's so happy with how our teams are running right now, especially the marketing team. And so he's working on other stuff, and so do I. So I'm really proud on where we are right now. Again, it's a lot to say if I'm going to walk out for 2 months and come back and things didn't break. Because at the beginning, because I didn't know, things broke all the time, But I'm really, really excited for where we are. Okay, David, what would you do in 5 years? What do you want to do in 5 years?
That's a good question. I probably should have been thinking about that when I heard you ask Jess.
Which I didn't answer.
What?
Which I didn't answer, by the way.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, that's okay. I'll answer it. It's fine. Yeah, I think that I want to like keep like upping the professional quality. Like, I don't think we should ever lose like the funny, goofy side of PLA or anything like that. Like the fun things that we do that are kind of like brought down, because we do film like a lot of things on a phone as well. We'll film things on phones and kind of more professional things as well. But like keep giving like PLA that professional edge and like building a bigger video team that can take on better shoots, or like, making more professional looking things to give us like that competitive edge with making us look both kind of like the brought down PLA that everybody knows and giving us like really shiny, nice commercials and things like that can like really push us forward.
Do you ever want to oversee a team and not physically filming?
I don't know. Ask me in 5 years. Let's do another podcast in 5 years. I'll let you know. I mean, like yes and no. It really depends. Like I could see myself being like into more of like a creative director position one day and stuff like that. But I do love to film still, and I think that there's a way that could both happen eventually one day or whatever too. But like, I don't know. Because I do love to film things and have a camera in my hands and edit and things. like that. But
I think, actually, that's a good point. I never thought that I would want to step away from doing the marketing stuff and become a manager. And I think that's my favorite part about my job. I like having a team. I like being able to trust my team. So like I could just delegate things and I know everything's going to get done. And like right now, Andre and Blanca are gone. We're looking for a graphic designer. And I've been doing so much stuff that I'm like, I miss my team. I don't like this.
yeah,
So I think I like being manager, and it was very hard for me to start delegating. I used to try to do everything, and now I love it.
right.
So there's two part of running marketing, really, right? Like one side is more like strategy and analytic, and then there's one side is more like the creative side.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, what side do you feel like you're gonna lean on?
I don't see, I like right in the middle. I feel like what I do now is also right in the middle, though, because
So you want to oversee the whole
yeah,
thing.
like I strategize. Right now, we're doing. Ooh.
You can say that.
We'll bleep it out. It'll be funny.
Right now, I'm strategizing. But they're going to do the create. I'm not good at the filming stuff. They do the creative stuff. And then I see it and I'm like, yeah, that was pretty cool. I make sure that everything is going to run smoothly, but I don't have to do the doing.
Do the doing.
Yeah.
Because you guys are way better at that.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, I also want to drive the forklift.
You. The hell? That's like the most random thing. What do
Well,
you
it
mean?
looks really fun. Jose yesterday had a cowboy hat on while he was driving the
my
forklift.
God. Yeah.
And I was like,
we
hell
do
yeah.
we do forklift training here.
Oh, we do?
Yeah,
Can I
we
get
do
in on that?
forklift training here.
That way I can be like hanging off
Literally.
getting photos. Like,
Doing
that would be so cool.
I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I look at this, and I've talked to you about this before, where I'm like, you know what? I'm really happy where we are, but sometimes I look at like our company, and we do a lot of products because
Yeah.
we sell
Yeah.
products. But sometimes I wonder, I'm like, we should turn this into like a reality TV show. If we filmed it as a reality TV
Yeah.
show, do you think people would watch?
I don't know. Yes.
I would watch.
This
You
is
would
pretty
watch
polished.
it?
Like right now, we're kind of
Right now, we have our shit together, so it's
yeah, we're
not as
shooting the
funny.
shit, but it's polished. But like, yeah, a day at PLA. I feel because I tell people all the time, I say Michelle's hilarious. She just
She's
you're just very
obnoxious.
polished. But like, you're so funny. Or like, right now, Fong's learning how to do nails.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what is going
Yeah.
on?
He is.
Yeah, Tom's learning how to do
It'd be
nails.
funny. It would be funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then, it gives people the opportunity to do some crazy stuff, though, like taking a shot and then I steal the forklift in the background and go for a joyride.
Why don't we do that?
Because I don't know, is that against OSHA or whatever?
Yeah.
Taking a
No,
shot.
no.
No, no, the
I'm talking
forklift.
about turning behind the scenes of PLA as like a reality TV. I would turn into watch an episode. Can you imagine? Like,
what if we do one day? What if we do just like a
one
silly day where
Like we film like an episode of The Office or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't
And
we
like
do
you
that?
just like I'll do interviews with people to see like what they're doing throughout the day and like just
We got to pick a day where like
Would you
Michelle's
dra-
being crazy.
Mhm.
You can't tell anybody, and then everyone in the confessional or like,
Yeah.
is gonna be like,
yeah. And we need to
what the
get like an
hell's
episode where Fong is actually crazy.
Oh yeah. My husband's obnoxious.
I watched your podcast. It was the most. I watched 5 minutes of it, and I said, I'm gonna throw up. I feel so weird right
yeah,
now.
no, I told my husband. So if you watching this, I brought my husband in to film a podcast, and then after we filmed the podcast, I went to David and I said, David, I don't think we aired that, because my husband is the most hilarious, obnoxious, and very out there person that I know. To the point where it's like, if you know Fang, you either love him or you hate him. And there's just no between. And then he showed up at the podcast and he had a polo shirt on.
He had a polo shirt
He had
on.
a polo shirt on and he acted like a banker.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, ew.
She got the ick.
I was just like, why are you not normal? And he was just like, So I said, no, we should film behind the scenes where he really show who he really is. But yeah, no, I thought it would be funny.
Michelle, tell us, what is the maddest you've ever been here at PLA?
Oh, let me think. Give me a second. Like the most angry?
Because I know, like at the time you're angry,
Like
but now
angry-
it'll be funny.
Like angry at the team? Angry at like
anything,
something
like as a
happened?
CEO. When were you like, oh, I'm gonna kill somebody?
Oh.
And why was it Caitlin?
No. Let me tell you, this just happened very recently.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
Don't think I have been that angry for like a while. I don't have anger issue. I do a little bit. So this is not towards our team. I don't think I've ever like so angry at the team where I was just like, oh my God. There was time I'm like, that's a big oopsie, but not angry. I don't think I'm angry. I was so angry 10 days ago, and it has to do with Jessica.
Oh,
with you. Did you remember when that brand ripped off? There was a brand.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
I thought she was going to say, I'm mad at you.
No. Did you remember that there was a brand
Yes.
ripped off our ProMate 2.0 and then posted it under a different name? Stupid. And then someone told me about it, and then we contact them. We went and comment on their page and say like, hey, you don't have the right to sell this because this is patent. Not only is patent pending, it's patent granted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't sell this. And then it will be like, yeah, no, we developed that. We have our own patent pending. And I'm like, whatever. And I said,
I don't think you know what patents
I was
are.
just like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So then we went on, and then I went on and comment on their post, and then they delete me. And then Jessica went on and comment on their post because I'm like, everyone, please just comment and let them know like nicely. Please take this down. You don't have the right to sell this. And they got so mad at you.
Yeah. Okay. So
It was so rude to her. Tell them.
Okay. So they DM'd me, and I think they probably clicked on my profile. It said PLA, and then it said marketing manager. So like, this is who we're gonna message. And they were like, this is harassment, and we're gonna sue you. Basically, we said.
I think we'd sent 2 messages at that point. Right?
I commented on 2 of their videos because there was 2 back to back.
Yeah.
And they said, we
were nice.
They said, yes, I was professional. I wouldn't say it was like
it wasn't nice, but it was professional.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is now considered harassment. We're going to talk to our lawyers, whatever. And it went back and forth. I wish I could show the message, but the messages were like this big back and forth. And once it started getting,
and it was so rude.
And it started getting kind of serious. And then I was like, Michelle, are you sure we shouldn't just let the lawyer respond? And she's like, no, say this. So then I sent another message. The next message, I'm like, are you sure we should? Because you've said to me once, you said, if I need someone to be petty, I'm going to ask Jess. And you asked the right person because I just kept arguing with them. But finally I was like, okay, are you sure we shouldn't contact the lawyer? And then they did. Then they sent a cease and desist.
Listen, this is the part where it's hilarious. So this company is in a different country.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not in the USA. And you know, I look at the time there. So they going back and forth with Jess a little bit, and Jess stayed very professional. And she said, hey, no, this is this. And then I went on the company's website, and I realized they ripped off all of our images.
They stole.
Oh, they did?
all of our images. So if you see like any of our loose fan ProMate, they have like the pictures, and the picture has a shadow
We
of
do
the
that.
fan. So what Skylar did before you came was he took the pictures of the fan, and then he drew in the shadow of the lash.
Right.
So because he took the pictures of the fan, no fans are exactly the same, you know. So anytime anyone stole that, which many people have stolen,
I was going to say,
before.
this has happened a lot.
Yeah, this has happened before, but people have always taken them down once we asked. So once I realized that, I told them, I said, no, and also, you stole all of our images. So then Jessica told them that, and they're like, no, all of our pictures are taken in-house, like with our own equipment, with our own people.
Anything.
And they were so mean and rude. And I was just like, how are you so wrong,
loud,
on top of your loud, and be rude? I was so angry because I was already not having a great day, and that came in. And then they's like, we're gonna have our attorney send you a cease and desist letter. And then 5 minutes later, a cease and desist letter went to our email, and I'm like, you stole and you sent us a cease and desist letter? And I'm like, wait, but it's like almost midnight there. What attorney would write them a cease and desist letter?
ChatGPT attorney, that attorney.
And then I looked at it, and it came from the company's like internal email. So it's like the name at the company's email. And I'm like, they don't have an attorney on staff.
And it wrote like their name, legal team.
Yes.
At the bottom.
Yes. And then I looked them up on LinkedIn and the person who sent it was the marketing manager. And I'm like, so she ChatGPT at like 11:30
Not
at
the
night.
two marketing
And then
managers.
send it. Can you imagine you send a cease and desist letter to a lash brand? And they're like, we've never heard of your brand until today. And I'm like, okay, so you stole from us, you violating our patent, you rude to my marketing managers, and you send me a cease and desist letter. Like the shit list just keep getting
Michelle
bigger
was so
and
mad.
bigger.
She's like, and I'm going to contact your manufacturer too.
And so I was so angry. So I call our attorney, and well, I've already told our attorney prior to this, so they were writing a cease and desist letter already. But I gave them all of the image, and then because we took the image, we took the pictures ourselves, so we have record of like
When
what
we
camera
uploaded
was
the
it
image,
on,
yeah.
when was it uploaded, what camera was it, and all of the all of the proof from it. So we've sent like Caitlin, which is like, I've got this. Caitlin was just like putting everything together.
Ken's
in,
like, I've
a
been
doc.
waiting for this day.
Oh yeah, no. We were eating lunch on my couch, and Caitlin's like, "Yep, I'm doing all of this." She put in this whole thing. They stole so many images from us, and as soon as I sent it over to the attorney, I'm like, "Okay." And I was expecting my attorney to go, "Hey, you're violating our patent. Take it down. Blah blah blah, whatnot." And the attorney sent me the letter for approval for me to like look at it before they sent it out. And I was scared after I read my own letter. No, because so according to the law, I just learned this. If you stole a copyrighted images, we can sue for $150,000 per images. According to what they stole, they would owe us $1.65 million if we take them to court. And
That's
so
crazy.
so all the things was on there, and then we sent it out, and then the same marketing manager sent back at the legal team. Send back an email and say, oh yeah, a formal employee like uploaded that and we didn't know. And we like, which one was it? Did you take it in-house like you told us, or a formal employee?
Yeah.
So then they took all of that down and they were like, well, we still don't think that we violating your patent. I'm like,
Because
you
when my
really?
patent gets approved
I'm like,
in your
did you-
country,
yes.
you'll still have to take it down,
So it's
right?
already, no, so this is what happened. In the USA, it's already granted, so they absolutely can't. But then in that country, it is in pending. But as soon as we notify them, because it launched only 2 days, and then we found out. So once we notify them and they know it, if they don't take it down, once the patent is granted, you can go back to the day of and collect damages. So then anything that they would have ever sold under our patent, we can go back and say, you now owe us this much money.
So you just might as well be smart and take it down.
That's
Exactly.
my
I
thing.
was
It's like, I
actually
don't know
helping
why
you.
it's like, it's the law. I don't know why you're trying to fight it.
That's
like,
what
it's
I'm
just
saying.
like, it's just like,
you know, like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well-
and if it's already granted in the USA, if a patent is granted in USA, that it gives you priority to like a series of country, and that country was one of them.
okay.
And it's a big company. It's not a small company. Like if it's Amanda that runs it out of an apartment, I understand. It is a big company.
yeah.
So I have not been that angry for a long time. Yeah, but it's taken care of, so it's fine. They still haven't taken it down, but I know.
But they will.
No, but they will, because we just sent them a letter. It's the right things to do.
What I was going to say is like, I feel like we're pretty nice. So like,
We're reasonable.
you know, if reasonable, it's just like, if
Yeah.
you're like, hey, these are ours, take them down. It would have been like, okay, it's over. Like,
No, and Michelle is like one of the nice people ever. If you know
Yeah.
her, you know that. So
Until you piss her off.
that's what I think. She was getting more and more mad because the lady was being mean to me.
Yeah.
She was
So
so
then she
mean to
started
you.
getting more
Yeah.
and more mad.
Yeah, no, she was so mean to you. So yeah, that was the one moment. Share with me the most frustrated moment that you've had working at PLA marketing team.
I was really mad today.
What happened? What happened today?
Actually, until right now, I was working on IBS stuff all day. Apparently they didn't do their price sheet or something, and I had to do it from scratch. I was working on it for like 3 hours.
On the IBS like price sheet?
And then when I told him, I said, remember last time we went to IBS? I was up till 3 a.m. doing it myself.
No.
But I'm just kidding. That wasn't the most frustrated I've been. But earlier I was like, I want to go home.
If that was the most frustrated that you've been, it
actually-
wasn't bad.
I don't know.
What about you, David?
I don't get
Oh,
mad.
I know.
Oh, I know.
What?
Do you?
Tell me.
Or is it the same thing?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
mine actually has very little to do with the company.
Okay.
It was my first time going to Boston.
Oh.
And we flew out to Boston to go. This was a TAD thing. We flew out to Boston, and we get to our layover in Denver, and our plane gets canceled, so we have to take a red eye. I'm very tall, so like I can't really sleep on planes. So I'm basically up for like 24 hours, and then we hit the ground, and we're going off, and I have to go record a mini doc at OPT, right? So I'm like up for like over 24 hours. And then we sleep, do our thing in Boston. And then we start flying back, and it happens again because there's that crash with the Southwest, remember? And we got stranded in Boston. And then I was up for 30 hours again because we flew all night, had a layover in Las Vegas till I think 4 or 5 in the morning, and then flew back. And then I worked all weekend on a short film.
Oh, so then you just like hating life at that point.
Yeah, that was just like this is crazy. This is insane. Like I was like so sleep deprived. But
It's so
that
funny
was the
'cause
most
it's like,
frustrating. But that had
not
nothing to
about
do
work,
with
yeah.
That was not about work. Yeah.
I don't think I get that frustrated. I think I am pretty level-headed.
You are. You really calm. You're really calm. It's just sometimes I walk into your room and I'm like, hi, and then you go.
But I'm like really mad about this one thing, and then I do it, and then I'm over it.
Yeah. Well, and that's my thing
I
too.
don't hold.
Is like, I'm super calm. The only time I'll get frustrated when it's like a very last minute thing where I'm like, why didn't I know about this?
Yeah.
Or it's like a thing like a change in a video that I know could have been stated like a week ago. And I'm just like,
or like 12 versions of a launch video.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Like 12 versions later of a launch video.
Yeah, some videos, like you'll see, I name everything, my naming convention is like this video _ V1, V2, and sometimes by the end I'll have like 12 versions of the video.
Oh, good Lord.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, that would be frustrating if I have to change something 12 times. So,
right.
yeah, whoever's in charge of that, start changing David's video.
I think,
I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
no, what frustrates us, I'm going to say us, is that I don't even think you put somebody in charge who you have a different opinion than. Not me. For like visuals, and then so they'll approve it, and then you'll see it, and you're like, no,
I don't
what
like
the hell
that.
is that? Yeah.
Well,
so-
I think sometimes that happened with like, Caitlin, that happened with Trust, that happened with Lana, where I'm like, I hate that so much,
Yeah.
So yeah. No,
Yeah, there's like layers to it where it's like, I'll get past Jess. And it's like, that's the first layer. And then it goes to Tress. I'll get to Tress and I'll have one change.
Final boss.
And then it's like final boss is Michelle. And I'll be like, gets to Michelle and I'm just like, she's like, I don't like it. And I'm like,
and then Michelle will be like, can you change this one clip? And then one time Trust was like, let's change the whole video.
yeah. And I was like, it goes up in 2 days. I've been working on this for a week.
No, so I think now that I'm stepping out way more from, having like creative, does that help?
No, we miss you.
Oh, you want me in more?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he said earlier, you're always welcome to come back.
I want to come back. I want to come back and help a little bit. Well, I think especially with Trust being remote, me being here probably is a little bit helpful. And then now David is working on TAT, which I'm very hands-on with TAT. So yeah. Okay. I know we have to wrap up sometime, somehow, somewhere. Now I'm hoping if it goes this long, then the people that we talk about, like we're about to talk about now, like will watch that part and they don't know that we talk about them. So I saved this until the end.
Okay, let's do it.
So, but you've worked under a few people. You've had Caitlin as you've had Katie as your boss, Caitlin as your boss, Tress as your boss, and now Jeff is your boss. Did I miss any boss you have?
I don't think so.
Me. Ish. Me. 5. Out of all of those people, who's your favorite?
Like as a person?
No, as a boss. As a
like,
boss.
oh my
No.
God.
I know we all get along, but like, who's your favorite boss and why?
Jeff.
Nobody I mentioned would get this far in the video. So
I have different okay, so Jeff is so level-headed. And you know what? I've had women bosses, and sometimes they just wear their emotions on their face. And Jeff's like,
that's a good point.
wow, yeah, like he's so chill.
Nothing is personal or nothing is not fixable. Yeah.
So, and I'll go in there and I'll say, hey, I screwed up. And he'll say, okay, just don't do it again. And I'm like, great. Okay. And then I also think that he is teaching me how to lead a team better than I ever have before.
Yeah.
I think, Jeff is so supportive. I think he's a very supportive boss. But also, Caitlin was a really good boss because she taught me everything I know.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And
she called you Mini Caitlin for a while.
And she's pretty funny. She was always a fun boss too.
Yeah. What about you? Well, I wouldn't say boss because you don't really have a boss.
Yeah.
When you work under a team, who's your favorite coworker?
Mateo.
Oh, you didn't even think. He didn't even think twice.
He just had 3 bosses.
I mean, I have bosses.
So who's your favorite boss?
Technically my boss, huh?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I was like, so who's been your favorite boss?
I feel like you haven't been my boss super long.
We've been back and forth a couple times.
A couple times. But probably Caitlin, for the reason that she does kind of wear her emotions on her shoulder in a way where I can read her really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like to the
Caitlin,
point where she's like,
don't even go in there.
if it's bad, you know it's going to be bad, and she'll tell you exactly why. Like there's no guessing. There's nothing like that. Like,
and sometimes she doesn't even filter it for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Caitlin just get along. Like I feel like I get her like and what she wants and stuff. So that's always, we just had like a good vibe like that. So
that's good. Who would, if a new person come and work for our company, not necessarily marketing, just work for our company, who would you warn them about?
Warn?
Yeah, warn them about. You're allowed to say Lana, if that's what you think.
You know, that is a good question.
I don't know.
It really depends.
I'm not going to say.
You're not going to say?
Nope.
Just too scared. You too
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. It's just mean.
Okay. I'd warn everyone that they're going to have a great time.
That's too political. That's no fun. I was hoping everyone would say Lana.
Lana can be scary, but I don't think she is.
No, I said
I really don't.
Me and Matej just talked about this an hour ago.
You guys are nuts.
I don't.
I disagree with
I'm not scared of anybody.
What you see is what you get. I walk into a room and Lana was like, I ain't even talk to her.
She's not gonna scare me. You can read Lana like a book.
I didn't talk to her.
Yeah.
Michelle, you have the same look on your face all the time. So when you're like, hey, and then you start talking, I'm like, ooh, I should not have come in here. She's mad. And you might not be mad at me, but I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have come in here.
No. I don't think I'm ever mad at you.
You're not mad at me, but when you're in a bad mood, I'm like, I shouldn't say anything at all.
I should learn this from Caitlin. I walked up to Caitlin a couple of days ago, like at the lunchroom, because I had a great idea and I want to talk to her about it. And I'm like, and I walk up to her. She was eating her lunch, and I'm like, hey, like I want to talk to you. And she's like, be careful, I'm annoyed. And I'm like, and she's like, I'm cranky right now. I'm like, oh, thank you. Yes, goodbye. And I left.
Or like the day before, I said, Michelle, I have to show you something, and it's something about a new product. And she walks in, she's like, I'm in a really bad mood already. And I was like, okay, well, good thing I didn't make this. There's this issue that I want to point out. And you're like,
cool.
I'm going to talk to them. And then you just leave. But yeah, I don't know. Plus you're the CEO, okay?
No.
And sometimes I think something that you do that scares, actually, we all do it. I do it, is the hi.
I don't do
You
it.
always say hi. David always says he hates that when I'm like, David. And he's like,
and then there's a pause and it's like Jess is typing because Slack does that. And it's like Jess typing, or it'll be like, hello, David. And then it's like Michelle is typing. And I'm just like,
but then I do that to you.
If you
text Michelle saying hi, I've texted Michelle saying hi. She calls me 1 second later, she's like, hey, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing.
That's my brain being trained with the SOS.
And then she's like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know. You said hi and now I'm scared.
Mateus slacked me today and she was like, hello. And then it was like a minute and I was like, and I finally wrote back, hi.
Our company does that.
But she told me now I don't get scared anymore. She says the reason she says hi is because she wants me to reply so that she could start. She said, I don't want to just talk to nobody. I want you to be.
Yeah. And I'm like, are you like, because, and I tell people, I said, if it's an SOS, I will always start with an SOS. Like if it's like a true SOS, I would either call you or I would go like SOS, I need this like right now. Like if I'm on a call and I need something and I couldn't get off the call, I would type SOS. Please help me.
Jess, she'll slack me. And I'm like,
well, like it never worries me, but I'm just like, I'm the kind of person, I'm like, I just want all the information right now. Cause now I'm like doing something and it's like, David. And I'm like, all right, now I gotta wait for this. And I just sit there.
And we do that. We're like this. We're like, she keeps typing and not typing and typing and stopping typing.
And sometimes you'll stop typing and it'll be like 3 minutes and it'll start typing again.
And it's something so chill. Like it's not even,
It's like, I really like that video. It's like, thank you.
Yeah. I would probably say if people come here, I warn them about Lana, Caitlin.
You're right. You know what? As a new person, Lana is scary.
Well, it's just like you just have to learn their personalities and like they don't hate anyone. They're not like, they're just.
Lana is the type that if she does not know you, she just won't even talk to you. And I think that could be scary if you're a new person.
I think Lana hates everybody until she gets to know the person.
I think so too, but I didn't want to say it like that.
Yeah, I'm allowed because I'm her sister. But like, I think Lana just like hates a person. Like Lana just doesn't care for.
I think Lana's smart, so she thinks everybody's stupid until she gets to know them.
Making her sound really good, guys.
That was fun.
That was fun. This feels more like a therapy sessions. And if people have made it this far down, and we may have to cut some part of it because this is now very, very long. What do you want people to know about the PLA marketing team?
Oh my gosh. You really thought about these questions. You know, this is what I want them to know. We're just people that work at our job. You know, we mess up sometimes.
Be nice to
us. We're just people.
People are nice. People are nice most of the time. Nice. Yeah.
But sometimes, like, I don't know. Sometimes Matea gets comments under her videos and I'm like, we're not nail artists. Okay, we do have some lash artists on our team and we have nail artists on our team, but we're not all. A lot of us went to school for marketing.
Okay. Yeah.
So just be nice to us.
Like all the things, have grace.
Yeah.
Have grace we work so hard on the things that we put out.
Yeah. And like something that they're just commenting on a video trolling. You got me in trouble.
No.
Thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Don't troll on our team is what I would say. There's a lot of things I feel like I put up with, you know, because you have customers. Like customers are the one that keep the companies going and, you know, and pay our bills and all of that stuff. But there's one thing that I always say. I put my foot down where people start abusing my stuff. That's never okay, whether it's customer service or marketing team. And if people are coming in, they not nice, not kind, and they were just trolling for the purpose of trolling. Like delete and block, move on. It's okay. And we've did that with like customer service. I think
I was laughing because I remember sometime some lady was like yelling at Katie and she wanted to talk to you. And Michelle answered the phone and the lady started yelling and cussing and Michelle said and hung up. This is at the old warehouse. But
I don't do that. I don't when it gets to the point that I love our customer. And I appreciate them so much.
And most of them are really, really nice.
But this is my family. Like this is people that I work with every day. I see them more than I see my spouse. Like I see you guys more than I see my husband. And I definitely talk to you guys a lot more than I talk to a lot of people in my family. Like this is my family. So when people like mean like the person that comes to your DMs and was just yelling and screaming and calling names, that's where I draw the line. And I think that's, you know, it's okay.
Yeah.
Not all customers are meant to be our customer. And we're nice and respectful and they have to do the same. So yeah. What about you, David? What do you want people to know? All the things that you do.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it earlier. It's just that like every piece of content we come out, like if you're a content creator, we go through the same exact thing. Like we go through like lash sets, and there's lash sets that you've never seen and you never will. Like, and there's a reason for that. Like, you know, we just have the luxury of, you know, having a big brand and having, like Michelle said, she doesn't have to do everything herself. Like, so we have the people and the resources to do it. So like, that's why it's consistent. And yeah, I mean, it's all like a lot of the same problems, you know, and
a lot of the same problem for lash artists creating content or a brand creating content, just on a different scale.
And it takes us forever sometimes too.
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes we sit on videos for like over a month, just being like, this isn't working yet, you know, and like we have the luxury of that, which is nice. But
and so some week, if we missing a podcast or a YouTube video, please have some grace. We're working on it.
We get sick sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's like everyone on these podcasts and in our YouTube videos, like they all have other jobs. Like those are just on top of what they already do, which is so much. So sometimes there can be scheduling things. And
But I'm really excited. I know we are. Actually, I can say this because by then, this will be out. We looking to grow our team, so we're gonna add in a really, really, really important role. Actually, a role that we've never had before.
I'm very experienced
for our team. And I'm really excited to see, you know, where the team goes. Our team already is together. Our marketing team is so together right now, and you guys are all doing your own things and, you know, planning all launches and invite me to the launch party and say like, hey, this is what we do. And I'm so grateful for it. Like, I don't feel like I say that enough, but I'm so grateful for our team on keep improving on what you guys do and you're so good at your job. So I don't have to learn how to do those, you know, because like if Jess quit, I need a 6-month notice, you know, and then if David decided he no longer want to film like, you know, lash video, please stay and train whoever it is for like a really long time before you leave. And I'm hoping as our company grows, the key people that we have on our team that been with us for so long, that are so invested in the company, keep moving up in the company. Because you guys are the one to build the company. You know, you are the foundation of the company. I may have an idea what I want to do for my company, but I don't know how to do 95% of what you guys do. But sometimes I like to have an opinion on it. So have some grace with me. But but I'm really, really excited. And our ambassador team and our trainer team are coming this August, I think. And it'll probably be the first time that like other people outside of the company really come to spend time with our team. So I'm really excited for them to kind of get to know all of us behind the scenes, because most of people know like me or Trust, sometimes Aaron, Ashley. We have an army. Like we have a mini little army that make everything look as possible and seamless and beautiful. So I want to start having like our people on screen more. Not that they're not our people.
That's
but
what
you know what I mean.
I think that's my goal for the next 6 months is we have 2 TikToks, okay? And I want one of them to be fun and just like random
No,
stuff.
I vote for like one day we do like The Office here. No, I think we should. I think you could totally craft that and then do it and plan it. Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yes.
Everybody can right now figure it out.
I'm like, David will figure it out.
I don't know
Come
what
up with
to
a
do.
script. But yeah, no, until next time, thank you so much for everything
Thank you.
that you
That was
both have done for PLA. And you know, and I don't think you guys get enough of recognitions because you're not on screen as much. But thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. You make this a great place to work.
thank you for paying me on time every time.
Yeah. Thanks for signing those checks. No, I'm just
Wait, we have to. Legally, we have to. So.
And I appreciate it.
So that's the minimum. But thanks. All right. Until next time, thanks everyone for tuning in and listening to us. And if you are watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed so you don't miss the next episode. We'll see you then.